everyone. So welcome back to the section 2 of first episode of season 2. I'm Harpreet, your host for Marketing Demystified. Along with me, I have Vikesh, who is the co-host. And we have a special guest today, Deepak, who is brand head for Byju's. I will start with the questions, Deepak. So the first question which we want you to elaborate on or throw some light on is what are some of the key challenges in edtech industry which you face or which you feel that they are there.
Sure. I think interesting question, Harpreet. I think the first challenge that really stands out in my mind is, the dichotomy that you have between the buyer versus the end consumer of the product. When you talk about education, the parent is the decision maker, while the child ends up using the product. I think increasingly the trend that we're seeing is that a lot of parents today, they really believe in child-led parenting. They want kids to be put in the driver's seat and to have a voice and say when it comes to signing up for any sort of academic program. Parents really want the child to demonstrate some sort of desire or inclination towards anything relating to academics before they actually push something towards them. So I think that plays out in an interesting way for us and has implications in terms of our communication, our across touch points. What do you say? Who do you talk to? The second big challenge that I'll talk about is, and this is almost something like par for the course when you talk about education, and it's really the level of engagement that happens before you actually have a final enrollment or somebody takes the full program. And this is not just about the ticket size of the purchase, but it's also, when you're talking about education, it's also really the opportunity cost, right? Switching brands, let's say in a low involvement category, it could be, I come from the world of colas, switching brands, say in a cola context, or it could be personal care, is a much less risk, risk involved versus in a category like education. So therefore, in education, there's a lot of consideration, evaluation before parents really narrow down on a particular brand. Again, implications for marketing is how do we really engage consumers, walk with them, through every step of that journey. Of course, there are some points along that journey when you play a more active role, and it's more of a lean forward role, and there are other times when brands really need to lean back and allow consumers to sort of discover.
Great. I think that is very important point which you said, that it is a very, very high involvement category. Every parent would be concerned as to what the child is reading and where is he studying and what is he doing.
Yeah. And I guess the challenge for the marketers also gets compounded there, because now you're focusing on both the user as well as the decision maker, right? So it's not just about focusing only on one.
Yes.
It's also are more aware. So, they also have a recommendation power. And as a consequence, there's a dialogue between the child and the parents, and, they evaluate the best value proposition. So I think, the challenge for marketers there gets compounded because you got to now act on two tracks. You got to ensure that, both of them are in sync with what you want to offer. Cool. Okay, so a lighter one. So, what does a typical day look like, for a marketer like you? So, how do you really start your day? And, what all goes in the life of a good marketer, an edtech marketer, till the day ends?
Power-packed day.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think the first word that pops up is hectic, but if I have to break down the chaos and get some meaning to it, so it could involve working on maybe a few longer term initiatives, including we spoke earlier about the overarching brand campaign, distilling that in the form of a brief that gets floated to our partners. So I think that fits into the longer term bucket. But if I were to take a slightly more shorter term horizon, it could also involve working on, the last mile or finer details for initiatives planned over the next few months. From an education context, if I talk about, June tends to be, the start of the academic year. Typically, that's when, your grades 4 to 10 commence school. So there's, a flurry of activity that happens around that, given that, we sit in the tuitions category space. I explained the broad structure earlier. So marketing, there is interface with a lot of different specialist teams. So there is a performance marketing team, there is a SEO team, there's a creative team. So they could end up, having multiple meetings with some of these teams where, we understand the ongoing plans that are been baked for a specific product, and also discuss, any iterations required on that. So I think the day typically passes by in a lot of catch-ups, and typically the longer-term initiatives is, it's a luxury when you have those relatively less meeting-free days.
Right.
Quite a lot that you pack in a day, Deepak.
So, Deepak, my next question is about what is the future of marketing? Now, since we started with books, then came edtech. Now, after this, what next? What do you see as the future of marketing in edtech industry? Do you see it going more AI way? Do you see robotics coming in, or what do you see as the future of marketing in this industry?
Sure. So I think there is, times are still exciting as we look ahead. I truly believe the space is still wide open, unlike a lot of categories which have, been around for a long time. And, you have pretty much all spaces, or rather consumer mind spaces occupied by different brands. I think here there's still a lot of innovation happening. There's a lot of action happening on the core product itself. People are, there are new formats which are being launched. There are, new features to really strengthen those formats. So, as the industry really evolves to meet consumer expectations in a post-COVID world, I think you can expect a lot of innovative marketing campaigns as well to support, those product launches. What I also see happening is, as brands become a little bit more mature and well-known, there'll be a lot more focus on trying to, carve out, say, sharper associations and, really cementing a sort of deeper role in the consumer's life context. So it'll be less about, the new news is perhaps, now well established. So now it's time to really strengthen those core associations, which, people seek from this category.
Right.
Very interesting. Just curious, an extension to the question that Harpreet asked, with this whole buzz happening around generative AI, are edtech companies also trying to leverage it? And, are there some use cases that, you're building or that you worked on? Because one of the challenges that I guess, educationists across the world are grappling with is that is it going to reduce reliance on traditional educational methods, right? And this whole debate of plagiarism coming in, right? So there's one section of society that says ban it because this is nothing but plagiarism, right? And the other one says, well, just think of it as a value-adding tool, and let's learn to use it appropriately and ethically, right? So what's your take on that? Just curious, yeah.
Sure. I mean, in edtech, you never say never. So, definitely applications for AI are, on the table and being, actively evaluated. If you look at the broader landscape, if you're following what's currently happening in the US, there's a firm called Chegg, which recently announced that, ChatGPT had started to impact its acquisition numbers. And that was specifically a product designed to help students do their homework and, seek solutions or answers to questions that they were not able to crack. So we are seeing that play out in other parts of the world. But I think the learning here at Byju's has been that there is a place and space for everything. We've now with our hybrid offering, we've been able to seamlessly blend the best parts of online learning and also bring together what offline learning brings to the table. So I'm sure we will be able to integrate AI in the overall product offering as well as we move forward.
Cool. So you are all for embracing new tech rather than resisting it, right? So
Yes.
excellent, great. Okay, so yeah, so there's one more question, which is around how do you keep yourself updated on various developments, within marketing in your industry? So, do you find time to read? Do you actually read? There's another challenge that we all are facing. People are reading less. We are consuming more content, but we are not reading books. We are not reading other serious literature. So how do you keep yourself updated?
I think one on recent developments happening. I mean, thanks to all the algorithms out there, they really ensure that it's up on your feed before the rest of the world knows about it, and that really helps you stay abreast. On the other front, I think a lot of good content out there, and I think Marketing Demystified is a classic example. A big fan of all the content creators who are, and I'm also seeing a lot of practitioners actually move that way, where they try and create content on their experiences and their learnings in the industry. I think that's also been a rich source of information and insight.
Thank you, Deepak.
Great. So moving on to the next question and last question for this section is, like you said that, you are consuming content from whatever is available. So there are practitioners who are sharing some experiences. Are you using any marketing related tools to ease your work?
When you say marketing tools, I think definitely few project management tools, which really help streamline communications. Increasingly what you're seeing is, you see this whole trend of fragmentation within marketing. There are multiple specialists who are sort of working on different parts of the overall elephant. Therefore, to keep everyone on the same page, I think project management really becomes critical to ensure that the brand thinking percolates to every function which is working on different aspect.
Great. So basically, specific tools for very specific jobs.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that would be the way.
Okay. Right. So thanks a lot, Deepak. This brings us to the end of section 2. I will take a short break and we will come back after that. Thank you.
Thank you.